sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Final game of the road trip, and the Cardinals looking for a sweep in Kansas City. We're at Kauffman Stadium. Game number 3, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. Erica Weston is here. That's the Matt Hungarian Albraboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals have won 5 straight series after winning last night. At one point, this club was 51-51. Then they got on fire. This team has played much better baseball.
Oh, it really has in all aspects, Danny. This club is starting to take off. You can see when you were talking about 51-51, they were in 4th place, 9 games back, and 4.5 games in the wild card. But since that time, this team is playing so well under Mike Schilt. The team batting average has gone up, runs have gone up, defense has been much better, and the pitching has been sensational. Whether it's starters, but the big difference is in the bullpen.
Today it'll be Tyson Ross instead of Luke Weaver pitching for St. Louis. More on that at the beginning of our telecast. The Cardinals right now 5.5 out in the Central, and in the wild card they are 2.5 back. Tyson Ross, the start today, a cut on the finger of Luke Weaver, so he's scratched. Ross and his Cardinals debut coming up against the Kansas City Royals. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The Cardinals a hot team right now and looking for a sweep here in Kansas City. The St. Louis Cardinals. The Kansas City Royals Day Baseball coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. The seats and welcome to baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Along with Al Raboski and Erica Weston, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 88 degrees, warm, muggy day here in KC. Cardinals looking for a sweep, and Mike Schilt and the Cardinals all time in interleague play here at Kansas City. Club has played very well, Al.
Well, they sure have. They've been outstanding playing here in this ballpark. Of course, we've always had the best our best designated hitter in the National League, but they are 20-8 here at the K since 2008, and they've won 4 in a row. Let's make it 5.
Well, some news with the Cardinals. Tyson Ross getting the start here this afternoon. More on that. We check in with the third member of our crew, Erica Weston. Erica.
Dan, Luke Weaver, a late scratch this afternoon from the series finale in Kansas City with a cut on his right index finger. Mike Schilt telling us about an hour ago that it happened opening an aluminum dinner tray in his hotel room last night. Schilt did find out about the 7th inning last night. Of course, Weaver was disappointed. He said he wanted to go today, but they wanted to play cautious. They didn't want him to miss another start. In his place, Tyson Ross will get his first start with the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, he was acquired a week ago off waivers from the Padres. He holds a 4.45 earned run average in 22 starts with the Padres. Mike Schilt also saying this is exactly the reason why you go out and acquire a guy like Tyson Ross. Dan.
Yeah, and he also said that Luke Weaver, they want him back in the rotation as soon as possible. The Cardinals lineup today: Carpenter, Molina, and Martinez. Ozuna, DeYoung, Jerko, Garcia, Bader, and Patrick Wisdom making his big league debut at first base. First pitch, a ball, and we are underway here at Kauffman Stadium. Game number 118 for the Cardinals.
Semi-off day for Carpenter being the DH.
The reigning player of the month and week in the National League. Jacob Junis, winless in his last 7 starts at home. Matter of fact, his ERA over 5 here at Kauffman Stadium. 26 home runs allowed. Keep that in mind in 21 starts. It does not get a lot of run support. The 7th lowest run support in the American League, and today's start number 22.
Yeah, he's gotten much better at cutting down on those home runs. He had a bad stretch where, and eventually went on the DL with a lower back injury. Really, when you look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal, fastball, slider, a lot of sliders, and a lot of people just crushing his fastballs. Left-handed batters batting .500 against him.
The 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Carpenter. Royals defensively, their alignment today. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Gordon, Merrifield, and Bonifacio in the outfield. On the infield, Dozier, Escobar, Herrera, and Duda. And Drew Butera is behind the plate. Salvador Perez is in their lineup. He'll serve as the designated hitter. And Yadier Molina, no surprise, I guess for some, that he's in the lineup today. I thought they may use him as a DH or give him a full day off. He's back behind the plate. And
extends his major league record of 20 straight days. That's the most ever by a catcher 35 or older. Yadi's 36.
Curveball drops in for a strike. Molina now is average up to 290. Some extra base hits in this series. Just producing. Now, you mentioned that Junis spent some time on the DL. The Cardinals are saying, well, we've had our fair share as well. 9 players currently on the disabled list for the Cardinals.
Because of the 9th one, Munoz, we get to see Patrick Wisdom make his major league debut. This is that point where you see an awful lot of sliders, particularly to the left or to the right-handed batters, but he's going inside, so it's got to be a fastball.
And it's pulled foul. The Cardinals with Carlos Martinez, Mike Owaka, Alex Reyes, Adam Wainwright, Brett Cecil, Luke Gregerson, Dominic Leone, Dexter Fowler, Tyler O'Neill, all on the DL. 9. Shift on the left side of the infield. Inside. Talked about it before. I'm not sure after watching Molina all these years I'd shift against him. He's one of those guys that can survey the infield, the alignment, take the ball the other way.
Well, and then you put your first baseman kind of way off the line, guard against it going the other way, which he was trying to do right there with that swing. And that's the thing, you know, when Junis is ahead in the count, you're going to see an awful lot of sliders, and that's a pitch you don't want to chase. Anticipate that his right-handed is going to be away from you, but you also got to be quick enough that as a fastball in, you can just foul it off, extend the at bat.
2-2. And a cold third strike on a pitch that was up and in, and Molina having words with the home plate umpire, Adam Hamari. And Adam got into it with Danny Duffy last night, ejected him, and now Molina, he's pretty hot.
You don't see Yadi argue that much, especially when you got 2 catchers. But set up away, it's really kind of a hanging, slider, breaking ball. Not a good one, but, kind of at the top of the strike zone. But you do that often, you'll find that he'll give up his 27th home run of the year.
It was Jose Martinez. Long 2-run blast last night. There's strike 1. Cardinals in the final leg of a long 9-game, 10-day road trip. Won 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh and Miami. Now looking for a sweep here in Kansas City. The club has traveled 3,029 miles on this trip. Sent out to center. Merrifield is there, and a 1-2-3 for Jacob Junis. Tyson Ross, his Cardinals debut coming up. Slider went right, a dominant pitch. Ninth season. Born and raised in Berkeley, California, the 31-year-old Tyson Ross, who's pitched with the A's, the Padres, Rangers, back with the Padres for a second time, and now the Cardinals. He was an all-star in 2014.
Last time he pitched was August the 3rd against the Cubs. He was acquired last Sunday as they picked him up off of waivers from San Diego. I asked Mike Maddox today if he has seen a side session or seen Ross throw, and he said no. We'll find out together today.
2 balls and no strikes. His younger brother Joe, pitcher for the Washington Nationals.
And you're absolutely right about the slider.
2-1 to Whit Merrifield. Merrifield in a rut right now. Last 5 games, 1 for his past 20. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Tied for 7th though in the American League in hits. As he pops that down the right field line and out of play to even it up at 2-2.
Showing his versatility playing center field today. First 2 games of the series at second.
It's right-handed batters he loves, or pitchers he loves to go the other way. About 40% of the balls that he hits against right-handed pitching is hit to right field and on the right side of the infield. The Cardinals have him shaded that way. 3-2 pitch by Ross, and a ground ball pulled foul. Merrifield at the top, and then Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, 1 home run shy of 20. Lucas Duda, then Herrera, Bonifacio, Dozier, Escobar, and Butera. Three-two pitch by Ross. Nice play. Back to him. Underhands to the first baseman today for the Cardinals, Patrick Wisdom, and there's 1 away.
6'6", 245, but very athletic. Gets down and gets that ball, and then a little shovel pass to Patrick Wisdom, and enjoyed watching Patrick and his wife, and looked like 10 or 12 more family members out on the field taking pictures with Patrick on his first start, second day in the big leagues.
Here's Alex Gordon. He has had tremendous numbers in his career against St. Louis. Today, his 50th game against the Cardinals. 328, 11 home runs against St. Louis.
He's also had success against Tyson Ross, 3 for 3, home run.
Closing in on 5th all-time in Royals history in home runs. Up next would be Hal McRae at 169. He's at 167. Hal McRae, former hitting coach with St. Louis.
I was talking to some of the guys around here about Hal, that they say he is not, feeling well, so we wish a speedy recovery to him.
Part of the 1985 World Championship Club, Hal McRae.
Right there, the last pitcher up top. Amos Otis next to him, Dennis Leonard to the right.
1-out walk. Cardinals and Around the Horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Bader, and Martinez in the outfield. Jerko and DeYoung on the left side of the infield. Garcia, Wisdom on the right side, and Molina behind the plate. And the batter is Salvador Perez. 4 for his last 26. Cardinals have gotten him to chase in this series for the most part. He has a chase rate when he's ahead in the count. It's the highest in Major League Baseball of 53%. You can get him to expand his zone. nearly hit him. 2 balls and no strikes.
That's one thing you see right now, that Tyson Ross, with his size, he shouldn't be afraid to pitch inside, but nobody charges the mound anymore. But you've got to pitch inside, particularly if you're a slider pitcher like he is, to set up the pitch away. So get ahead and let him chase.
The 2-0. 2 balls and a strike. Cardinals bring him in to be used out of the bullpen. Spot start today. You would think he'd be able to cover some innings. Some of the young guys that are in that Cardinal rotation, if they're not available to go deep into a game. Jack Flaherty last night, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, that helped having that long outing by Flaherty, 7 innings.
Perez with 19 home runs, 12 walks. 12. Very aggressive hitter. 2-1 pitch. Hit sharply and into left field. Past the diving Jed Jerko. And the batter will be Lucas Duda.
Well, in the inner half, he just turns on it. So looks like Yachty wanted away, never didn't get it at the location they wanted. Still in a situation where you make one good pitch, let Duda roll over on it and get a double play ball and get out of there.
Modest 5-game hit streak for Lucas Duda. Double home run during those 5 games. Royals, by the way, are hitless with runners in scoring position in this series.
Well, that says something about the Cardinal pitching.
0 for 12 combined Friday and Saturday. 0 for 8 on Friday, 0 for 4 last night.
Starter sets the tone, but now you feel very comfortable whenever you go into that bullpen that you got arms down there to get the job done.
Runners at first and second, and a 1-0 pitch to Duda. 2-0.
Tyson Ross was told last night the possibility he could make this start. A lot of people and the training staff kind of felt like last night that they were going to be able to take care of that cut, little tough skin on it, and it would be enough. But you know, if you run the risk, you get that friction from the ball or catch a seam and you have a little cut on your index finger, it can open that up and make it much worse and miss multiple starts. So I think the Cardinals did the right thing, and Luke Weaver will make his next start.
Nineteen pitches, only 7 strikes. He attended Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland, California. Then became a Bear, Golden Bear with Cal Berkeley. He was all Pac-10 when he was in college, and then off to the pros. 3-0 the count on Duda. I'm sure part of this is knocking off some of the rust. It's been a while since he's been on a mound in a competitive game. Now, my understanding is, and I know what Mike told you, but Mike Schilt had mentioned to me that in Miami they did have a bullpen session. It wasn't very long. And
right.
Just trying to see what they had, but better look at it today. 3-1 pitch. And now the base is loaded. Mike Maddox already a visit here in the bottom of the first. Bases loaded, and 1 out with Herrera coming up.
Yeah, Mike did kind of reference that little thing in Miami, a little tune-up, but you know, you join a new club, you want to do, even if you're a veteran, it's just kind of human nature. You want to do better, more than you can right now. So get back in the strike zone, and if they hit you, they hit you. But when you walk people, you know, there's no excuse or no defense for that.
Here's a look at Luke Weaver, unavailable today. Got to watch out for that aluminum. One out and the base is loaded. And he did go. A little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Herrera. 6 for his last 36. That's a 167 average. Ground ball, and Wisdom misplayed it, and a run will score. So an error on Patrick Wisdom on what could have been a double play ball, or certainly getting that runner from third at the plate.
Well, Patrick Wisdom has played a lot of first base and a lot of third base, and he's very good at both of them. But I'm sure here the butterflies were the first real test, and not exactly the way he envisioned his major league debut. But shake it off.
Now Bonifacio with the bases loaded. 3 for his last 7 in this series. Strike 1. .25 pitches for Ross here in the first inning. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2.
The good thing is still 1 pitch. You can get 1 good pitch, get 2 outs, get out of there, regroup. Team has 8 innings to come back.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. And there's your ground ball. Jerko stays down on it. The turn by Garcia and a double play. 1-0 after 1. The Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Cardinals. 14 pitches in the first inning for Junis, 10 of which were strikes. And Marcell Ozuna will be the batter. He doubled last night, hitting .270. Strike one. DeYoung to follow, and then Jed Jerko. Oh, and 2. Good slider. Three Royals on the left side of the infield and an 0-2 pitch. Struck him out. He has struck out now 3 of the first 4 as we turn to Al Raboski's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, you mentioned the pitch count. It's at 18 now, but you want him to throw a lot of pitches because when he gets to about 75, he gets in trouble. At 90, you own him. And keep the 2-strike approach. Cardinals been getting a lot of their rallies. We had one game in St. Louis where they had 15 2-strike hits. Last night they had 4 in that span of 5 straight hits, 4 of them RBI hits, and 4 of those came with 2 strikes. So the Cardinals doing a good job of laying off the strikeouts, but so far today, Junis has had their number.
0-2 on Paul DeYoung. Drew Butera is behind the plate. It is not Salvador Perez. They honored the 2015 World Championship Club before our first pitch today. And Butera caught the final strike of that World Series. Game 5 in New York from Wade Davis. That backs up for a ball, 1-2.
So a lot of fastballs early in the count, but when he gets ahead in the count like this, a lot of sliders. He throws a fastball.
Some of those players already have retired. Chris Young, Chris Medlin, they're here today.
I think there was only 4 that came today because so many of them are still playing.
Hung that one, but
Yeah.
it's yanked foul.
And that's, you know, when you throw so many sliders like he does, Danny, it's like 40%. You're going to hang some of them. And that's why he's allowed 26 home runs. But of late, he's been much better.
Oh, we saw that last night with Danny Duffy hanging breaking balls in trouble. Then he ran into trouble with an argument at first base and then eventually was ejected from the game. Kind of lost his mind, didn't he?
Well, and you know, it happened his last start. He had an at bat where he thought he threw 2 pitches for strikes. He didn't get those calls and then gave up a grand slam. I think he was facing a little suspension.
2-2 is pulled foul. Jose Oquendo fields it cleanly and a souvenir. Mike Schilt has just talked about Jose Oquendo in glowing terms and helping with the transition to being the manager of the Cardinals. There's another one he may have hung.
Yeah, he did.
He said, though, from day one, got the players in and the staff, and Jose was very vocal in saying, let's get behind our guy. Let's get communication out there. We've got time to win. And you look up in the standings, and there's a chance.
You really do. What, 5.5 back of the Cubs and 2.5 behind the second wild card.
That's hit down the left field line. It was another breaking pitch and pulled foul.
Another hanger to him also.
Makes it fun to come to the ballpark when you're talking about a team that's still in contention. And that's certainly the case here with the Cardinals, wrapping up their longest road trip remaining. A lot of home games in September. And the matchups with Milwaukee, a team in front of them, those are home dates. They are done on the road in Milwaukee. It's a good at bat by Paul DeYoung.
How many times in this series have we seen a long at bat multiple pitches, we end up with a very positive result for the Cardinals.
This will be the 9th pitch coming up here. The 2-2 to Paul DeYoung. Inside, and it did hit him. Good at bat by Paul.
This is the 11th batter. Just a little glance off the thigh. The 11th batter that Junis has hit. And of course, he hit one big one. Game against New York, he hit Aaron Judge. And at the time, they thought broke his hand, right? Wrist. They thought it was only going to be a 3-week injury, but he's still out. Can't swing the bat.
Cardinals start play 4 games above 500 on the road. Back home tomorrow night, 3 above the 500 mark at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Nationals will be in town as Jerko pops it foul. It'll be Miles Michaelis against Tommy Malone tomorrow night. 6:30 we're on the air. Have 4 night games. Game on Thursday. Note the start time if you have a ticket or checking us out on television. 6:15 the first pitch on Thursday. Cardinals will not face Max Scherzer in the upcoming series. He'll pitch tonight in Chicago.
Danny, how many times have you told me you felt like you've been on the road all year? This is the Cardinals' 63rd road game. That ties Boston for the most in major leagues this year. So you have been a lot.
And it happened in about a month and a half span where the Cardinals had the fewest road games and now the most. And if you look at the schedule and how it plays out at home, 3 road trips in September, 2 of which are only 3-game road trips. And the other one is just a 6-gamer, and the rest at home.
Yeah, the month of July, very few home games.
The 2-1. Tighter break on that slider. Evens it up at 2-2.
Really need something else. You know, you need a change up, and he has one, but he rarely throws it.
And he got him. Strikeout number 4. And the batter will be Greg Garcia.
Well, we've been telling you about this slider and don't chase it. And the Cardinals have kind of fallen into that trap.
Greg Garcia that started second base today. And a ball outside.
About 2-1, you're going to see a fastball the first pitch. And then as the count goes deeper, you'll see the slider.
Evens it up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Junis from Sterling, Illinois, 25-year-old. Attended Rock Falls High School in Rock Falls, Illinois.
He had a chance to go to North Carolina State. Matt Holliday's father tried to recruit him, went to his house even.
Ground ball that's hit to second, handled by Herrera, and the Cardinals strand a runner. We move to the bottom of the second. Royals on top.
Tyson Ross and Yadier Molina battery mates for the first time this season, but Jack Flaherty talking last night about his relationship with Yadier Molina and how much he calms him down and helps him get through his starts in every game. The two had a nice conversation in the dugout last night once Flaherty's night was over. Molina had to work with a lot of rookies this season, more so than usual. And I talked with a couple of those guys, Mike Myers and Austin Gomber, those younger pitchers on the staff this season, about Yadi and how he manages the staff every game. He said it's so much about his demeanor. It's calm yet intense. He knows what makes each player tick, and he goes farther than calling pitches. He understands each player and each pitcher on a different level. They said it's hard to explain, but we appreciate him, no doubt about that. 20th start in a row for Yadier Molina, guys.
All right, Erica, thank you. We've seen on this road trip when he's been at first base, he'll actually call time to bring in everybody on the infield and conduct the meeting, if you will, the mound visit, to talk about the situation and the hitter.
You know, he's got not only the pitching responsibilities, but he's facing the entire field, and he sees things others don't. You know, you could talk about all the Gold Gloves, you can talk about how he's become an offensive player, but it's the intangibles, like what Erica was talking about, is why he'll be a Hall of Famer.
2 balls and a strike on Escobar. Ross had 28 pitches in the first inning.
Well, the one thing is, Danny, you know, the way it is today, you just tell a guy just go as long and hard as you can, try to eat up as many innings as possible.
Well, I would think that he felt like, and the Cardinals feel like, he escaped with just one run in that
one
first
run,
inning.
Absolutely. Could have got out of it with none, but there was the error, and very lucky to get out of there with just one. So you build off of that, and you kind of just had the feeling, okay, you know, you had that long extended inning, but now you regroup in the bullpen, you kind of relax. You know, it's regular baseball again, but you can't walk anybody, so this is an important pitch.
3-2. Got him. Ross, his first strikeout as a Cardinal.
And we talk about, we got 2 slider pitchers here, so many times you're going to see that in 3-2 pitches, you're going to see something, you know, in a breaking ball. Very good location, good action on it. I think he's 100% more relaxed right now, and it's like, okay, this is something I've been doing for a long time.
Drew Butera. Ninth place hitter for Ned Yost Club. 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Butera out of Evansville, Indiana, home of the Purple Aces. Missouri Valley Conference, they have produced a lot of major league players, some NBA players as well. Home headquarters located in St. Louis. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts. 11 pitches in the bottom of the second. 1-0 our score. Harrison Bader. Home runs in back-to-back games. Second time he's done that in his career. Did it earlier, May 29th and 30th against Milwaukee. Playing every day, timing getting down, and we know about the defense. Well above average. 8-9-1 for the Cardinals. There's that slider. It's a pitch that can get Bader, but he's made better adjustments with it here in the last week or so.
He's had a real good series, hasn't he? And a good road trip.
And the 1-1 pitch. Inside and missed. 2-2. Just an exciting young player, and you can tell that others are feeding off the energy of the youth of this club, and I would say at the top of that list is the man at the plate. There's a strikeout, number 5. Major League debut for Patrick Wisdom in his first plate appearance.
Chance talked to Patrick today and was just commenting about, hey, it's the same place you've been playing. Something was crowd reacting to the scoreboard where it says he's making his first Major League plate appearance. It's the same old game, just another layer of the stadium, the third tech.
He's got good power. Seen him play a lot of first base last 2 spring trainings. Normally very sure-handed. Did commit the error that led to a run. Now 26 years of age. Puts it in play, a little squibber. He may beat it out. He does. First ever big league hit, Patrick Wisdom.
Not exactly what he envisioned, but he's got his first hit. He's even got a smile, a little bit of a chuckle.
You could see his teammates in there. Good chunk of those guys have played with him in the minor leagues, and they'll tell you he's one of the most popular players in the minors, if not the most popular of his teammates, and that's why you saw that reaction. Go, go, go. All right. Love seeing that moment. Culmination of family and friends that have seen it all come together. Great moment.
See how things turn around this second time. These guys get an idea of what you're seeing from this pitcher.
You can see him hang one of those sliders, and it becomes a 2-1 Cardinals lead to Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, not only that, Danny, but you know, the Cardinals have been so good of late, of really cutting down on their strikeouts, and it's kind of surprising. It looked like every one of these strikeouts and sliders, they've been trying to pull the ball, pulling off the pitch, and most of them have been away, trying to come in with a fastball, and he misses location.
Carpenter with a home run the other night into the fountains in right center, number 32, and he leads the National League.
Got to get home and make some more salsa.
Two and two the count. 29 game on base streak on the line, trying to extend that career high. Shift on the right side of the infield. Even the left fielder Alex Gordon very deep. 2-2. I don't recall a left fielder playing that deep on Matt Carpenter.
Especially this ballpark, too. I mean, this is a big ballpark. It's not like the ball carries as well here as it does in other parks. You know, the power alleys are about, you know, at least 10 feet further than most ballparks. 10 feet deeper in center.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Pride Night returns to Busch Stadium on Friday, August 17th. And also a reminder that MLB.TV is now available at a lower price, $49.99. Watch out of every out-of-market regular season game live. And you get that free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. MLB.TV. Six strikeouts.
And look at the defense now. 3 infielders on the left side. You're holding, first baseman's holding on the runner. Boy, you just see, just have a dribbler to the right side and you got a base hit. Hopefully at first and third.
0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. Wisdom is running and Yadi's hit with the pitch.
Second batter he's hit today, and like I say, now that is 12 batters that he has hit this year. I know he's not trying to hit guys, but that's when guys get a little upset at this level if you don't have command.
Runners at first and second. Jose Martinez. Line to center field first time up. Slider and a strike.
Rex Hudler was telling me he played with Jose's father with the Angels back in '95. You couldn't believe how much they look alike.
They swing the same. They run the same.
Same kind of bodies type, you know.
I've seen some of the older video on Jose's dad. It's incredible. Nothing at 2 the count. Runners at first and second. Stays away from that slider. 1-2.
Just get the feeling the more they see this slider, the more, you know, they're going to kind of be able to stay away from chasing it. And also, we say you throw as many sliders as he does, and it's 45% basically, you're going to see a bunch of hangers.
Big gap in left center. Time call. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. Ozuna at the on deck circle.
Talking with Cal Eldry, said we got a lot of young guys, don't have any experience, and the one thing that is really tough to pitch at this level when you don't have fastball command.
Martinez lines it into center field and a base hit. Wisdom to the plate, and he will score. Yadi moving up to third as they miss the cut, and this game is tied 1-1.
Jose Martinez continues to have a good series and continues to beat a club that didn't bring him to the base to the pros. There's a hanging breaking ball. Good read by Wisdom. He takes off on this ball. course, there's 2 strikes, so he could do it, but Yachty did a great job. He saw how high that throw was. Watch Yachty. He'll check and see how high that throw is, and he knew there's no way the catcher was going to get it, so he could go to third without a play.
Cardinals now 7 for 20 with runners in scoring position in this 3-game series. Let's see if Ozuna will go to right with that slider. He did, but it's into the glove of Lucas Duda. Cardinals strand a pair, but they tie it up. It's 1-1. Guard, 35th Engineer Brigade in Kuwait. This one's for you August 15th on Fox Sports Midwest. Patrick Wisdom, first hit, first run scored. We're tied 1-1. Here's Whit Merrifield. I'm sure that's a bit of a relief after the error. You contribute, going in the right direction. Merrifield grounded back to Tyson Ross, first time up. And a ground ball to Young to his left, and he makes the play.
Goes down there. He's 0 for 9 in this series. Came in batting 300, and like you said, he's in a little bit of a funk right now, and Tyson Ross is just getting better.
It's one of the great defenders in the game today, Alex Gordon, a former third baseman, then converted to left field. Plus 16 defensive runs saved, regardless of position. Third best in Major League Baseball. That's when I saw him playing deep with Carpenter in left field. I thought, well, how do you argue with a guy like Alex Gordon?
And I think he has 80 career assists.
And 8 of those this year, fourth most in the American League. The shift on the right side of the infield. Count of 2 balls and no strikes. Walked in, scored his first time up.
It's hit. St. Louis pitching well.
3-1. Out of play, full count. To that shaky first inning, Tyson Ross has looked a lot different and much better.
They got a double play ball to end that first inning and retired the last 4 from second to first out here in the third. So trying to retire Gordon for the first time in his career.
Slowly hit to the right side, and Garcia makes the play.
Not an easy play for your second baseman when you're playing almost to the edge of the grass. So you got to come in here, charge, and then you're kind of like you have to throw behind as you pass the first baseman. Gets the job done. Greg's so fundamentally sound. You just, you know, good utility player, good guy that knows how to play the game right.
Strike 2, Salvador Perez. They showed the 2015 world champions that are in attendance. We talked about many still playing, but not many still in uniform for the Royals.
Right.
One of those here at the plate in Perez. Hosmer in San Diego, Kane in Milwaukee. There's a fly ball lifted out to right field. Martinez over, and it is a fair ball on that sliding catch attempt.
Boy, the Cardinals do catch a break. Catch a break because it bounced into the stands. And remember, Martinez is after the slide, he's on the ground, so that would be at least a triple, if not more. Good effort by Martinez.
Take a look at the replay, and a ball barely fair. Good effort by Jose.
You can see how far the run he is, and he kind of slides for it, and it just hit on the chalk line, but then it bounced into the stands, and so it's the ground rule double.
Lucas Duda, the batter, with the go-ahead run in scoring position. 1-1 our score here in the home half of the third. And a strike on the inside corner. Duda walked his first time up. Yanks that down the right field line, but that's hooking and foul. Lucas Duda, number of years with the New York Mets. Mets in a free fall this season. They're now 48 and 66.
Well, they thought they were going to be right in contention too.
I thought they were. Getting back a healthy Matt Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Familia back, who's now with Oakland. That's into center field and a base hit. Bader racing for it. His throw to the plate. It's on line. Is it in time? It is. They're going to say he's safe. Did he ever touch home plate?
I didn't think he touched it.
If he's safe, that's an incredible slide by Salvador Perez.
It was a good throw by Harrison. We'll take a look at it, but when it hits the mound, it slows up. Remember, catcher's got to give a lane. Obviously, they do. Yeah, it looked like maybe as he slid by and then turned his body and turns it with his right hand. When it hit the mound, it slowed up. Watch the right hand.
Oh, that's an incredible slide by Salvador Perez. The Cardinals, though, will challenge. And I think Molina's saying he got him on the chin, maybe. Looks like he may have. May have also gotten him on the sleeve.
I thought he got him on the chin, but I thought the hand got to the base. So it's, we'll see what happens.
Looking at the video board here, it looks like he's safe. And if that's the case, what a slide by Salvador Perez, and a good play executed defensively by the Cardinals.
Now remember, catcher's got to give a lane. The throw is a little bit to the first base side, and so he has the whole back half of the plate to touch. And when he comes around, he kind of slides by, and instead of touching the base with his foot or his left hand, he reached around, contorted his body to touch it with his right hand. You'll see it here. Watch the right hand. Very tough to tell, but it looks like the hand does get down, right hand on the bat, umpiring in perfect position. We've seen Bader become a premier center fielder with his ability to flag down balls and throw.
2-1 Kansas City.
We agree with it. Doesn't matter if we agree or not, but
So a 2-out base hit by Duda following the 2-out double by Perez. Time of the challenge, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. The call stands. And the Royals' first hit with a man in scoring position this year, 1 for 15 now. This series, I should say. Now Herrera. And strike one. Reached on an error by Patrick Wisdom, first time up, which led to a run. One ball and one strike. Boy, give Salvador Perez a lot of credit with that slide. It's a big man adjusting on the fly. Just getting around the tag of Yadier Molina. Two and one the count. Herrera hits it up the middle, and another chance maybe here for Bader. His throw to the plate. This one in time, goodbye. Another strike by Harrison Bader from center field. It saves a run. And Bader, always aggressive, and a strike to the plate. He gone. the plate. Last 5 games, Cardinals shortstop is driven in 6 and scored 4. Couple of home runs, couple of doubles. And he starts the top of the 4th looking at a ball. It's 2-1 Kansas City. Cardinals trying to make it a sweep here against the Royals. And Young hits one a mile high out to center field. Whit Merrifield shading from the sun. And there's one away. Paul had a 9-pitch at bat back in the 2nd and retired here for the first out in inning number 4, and it brings in Jed Jerko. Jerko struck out back in the 2nd.
Wow, he loves to hit fastballs. May get the fastball early in the count. Nope, got a slider.
To third. Dozier. 2 away. Cardinals Hall of Fame induction class has been selected, as many of you know. Join the Cardinals and Edward Jones. Will honor Harry Bakeen, Vince Coleman, and Ray Lankford. 2018 Hall of Fame induction ceremony this Saturday, 3 o'clock. Cardinals.com/HOF to find out more. Be a part of the festivities. It is open to the public. Willie will be signing autographs at 10 a.m. at the museum. Make a day of it. A strike to Greg Garcia. Then later that night, Game 2 between the Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. 0-2. Pitch count at 65 for Jacob Junis.
That's important too, Danny, because when he gets to 75 pitches, things start unraveling for him.
And you also get into a bullpen of Kansas City that at times has been roughed up. So we'll see how it plays out. The 1-2. Garcia grounded out to second his first time up. Matchups beginning tomorrow. Michaelis against Tommy Malone. Then Tuesday night, John Gant, Gio Gonzalez, Austin Gomber against Jeremy Hellickson, Jack Flaherty against Tanner Roark. 4 games coming up against the Nationals, all 4 on Fox Sports Midwest. Another ground ball to second. And Garcia for 2. And we're midway through 4. It's 2-1 Kansas City. U.S. and the throw by Harrison Bader. Couple of them, and this one results in the final out of the bottom of the third.
Comes in here, good form and everything. This time he does not hit the mound, so he's out past the mound. Good bounce right there, and he nails him at the plate. You know, according to StatCast, he's tied for first in Major Leagues with five-star catches and 15 outs above average. I'd add that number 16.
Does everything right. Throw was low, could have been cut off if needed, both times.
You know, I've watched him a lot, you know, when they've had outfield drills. And yes, he could throw, and he was very erratic with his throws. But now playing every day, he's getting a chance to do it well.
Deep left center off the bat of Bonifacio, and the catch made the edge of the track by Marcelo Zuna. The batter will be Hunter Dozier, who was a top pick, 8th overall back in 2013 by Kansas City. All right, I'm going to give you a little quiz here. You ready?
Yes, sir.
So Yadier Molina was called up about midway through 2004. He's been the #1 catcher for the Cardinals ever since. And we've talked about all the young catchers he's been catching the last probably 2 years. If you had to take a guess of how many catchers, or rather how many pitchers he's caught, take a guess.
Since 2004.
This is a tough one.
And it's
any guess you give me, I would say I would probably agree with. I do have the number, but I'm just curious what you're thinking.
I'm thinking. $205.
Today is his 150th different pitcher that he's caught. That's incredible. Now consider the Cardinals had a couple of years where their starters went every 5th day.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
Uh-oh, a strikeout there, gets away from Molina, but he'll make the play. Good pick by Wisdom.
I was thinking 14 years and adding, you know, somewhere around 14, 15.
That's logical.
Yeah. Well, we've had 10 different starters this year. How many guys we run in the bullpen? You mentioned we had 9 guys on the disabled list. Probably, what, 6 of those are pitchers?
And the batter is Escobar. After a rough first inning, Tyson Ross, for the most part, has settled in. Did give up 3 consecutive 2-out hits in the third.
Really, the rough part in the first inning was a couple walks. There was just 1 hit, and then there was an error committed. You got a big double play ball to get out of it. Had a real easy second inning.
And a ground ball to third. This will be a 1-2-3, bottom of the 4th. Inning number 5 rolls in, and it's 2-1 Kansas City. not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Number 5 here in Kansas City, your former teammate, George Brett.
He was fun.
Can't imagine you two together.
You know, George, his last year, he led the team in home runs and RBIs, but he said, I had nothing in common with my young teammates. Retired. Of course, he had kids at a very late stage. Didn't get married till he was in his 30s. And he said, I just wanted to stay at home with my own children.
Can understand that. Strike to Bader. And the 1-1. It was just over 3,100 career hits for George Brett. That sweet left-handed swing.
You know, early in his career, Danny, when he got to the big leagues, he wasn't getting a chance to play. Managers said, oh, he can't play at this level. He was catching in the bullpen.
Come on. I'd never heard that. And a strikeout of Bader. Who was the manager?
I think it was Jack McKeon.
Wow. BJC Healthcare difference maker, the first major league hit for Patrick Wisdom, just like he drew it up.
No, but in the scorebook, it's going to be a line drive. Tomorrow's paper, that first hit. Oh, it must have been a line drive.
Wisdom singled and scored the only run.
He really got his average up high this year. You know, he was strikes out an awful lot, more so last year. But he hit 31 home runs. And, you know, he had to have been disappointed, didn't get called up. Then they took him off the 40-man roster. And as you said, worked his way back, very popular in Memphis. Been there, what, 3 years. And
close to what, 700 minor league games?
700, I think it was 40 plus.
Again, the depth of the Cardinals system to bring up a player. As he strikes out here. That's 8 for Junis. Now it's a third time through the lineup. The slider to get Patrick Wisdom.
You know, there's a lot of people right now, because of analytics, they say, you know, you don't let a pitcher go 3 times through the lineup. He hasn't had trouble, but he's getting his pitch count up to where he starts having trouble. Look at where at 76, he's at 79. They start hitting 313, and then they own him after that. From pitch 90 and above, teams are batting .566 against him, 17 for 30.
Here's a 0-1. Nothing in 2 on Carpenter. Hitless today, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
Really, Danny, is just 1 for 11 in the series. That 1 home run on Friday night.
There's a base hit to left field. On base street now at 30. Tying run aboard, and it brings in Molina, who was hit by a pitch last time up.
Good piece of hitting right here. See the ball away. Didn't try to do too much with it, just tried to get it out over the infield and hit it in that gap. And remember last night, Yadier Molina, after a long at bat, got things started with 2 outs, and then they had 4 consecutive RBI base hits behind him. A little surprised when you, with those, knowing those numbers, and I know Junis is pitching better, but So surprised they haven't at least start getting somebody in the bullpen. They still have a tarp on there on the mound out in the bullpen.
And the 1-0 pitch. Molina hits it sharply to short. Force play at second base. We're midway through 5, and the Royals have a 2-1 lead. That'll be interesting to see just how far and deep the Cardinals can go with Ross today.
Yeah, and I think this is a real important inning because it seems like innings 2 and 4 were 1, 2, 3 really efficient innings, but 1 and 3 it's had a little problem. That'll help.
To short, and DeYoung makes the play. Pride Night returns to Busch Stadium on Friday, August 17th. Purchase of a special theme ticket. You'll receive a Cardinals t-shirt with a rainbow STL logo. Pride Night tickets, cardinals.com/theme. First man retired in the home half of the 5th. And again, the top of the lineup with Merrifield and then Alex Gordon. Strike one. A ball, then a strike. Outfield is straight away. A hot day here in Kansas City.
Nowhere near the days either at Busch or here at the K when they had the turf on the fields.
Be miserable for the fans near the turf too.
Artificial surfaces and just heat radiating up on a Sunday. Dog days of summer, turf could reach 140 degrees.
Now I understand why you would do it. You know, you don't have rainouts. You hope that the rain goes away and the turf seeps it all in, but what were we thinking?
Well, you know what happened was they didn't have these drainage systems that you have in modern ballparks because these fields drain as well as the turf fields now.
Lined and caught by Wisdom. And I'm with you. I get it, but what were we thinking?
Well, because, you know, I mean, think about Kansas City and St. Louis. You know, you have such a wide range. You know, people drive hours and hours to get to a ball game. They wanted to guarantee they'd have a chance to see it. And so once they came up with the drainage systems to where you could get a massive amount of rain, and once the rain stops, it drains well enough to where you play that game, that all the teams went to it. And remember, too, in the 70s, you had all those cookie cutters, multi-purpose stadiums where you had your football and baseball. So you just couldn't beat it up, you know, grass. But it was mainly, once they come up with the drainage systems, then they all went back to grass, and we're all better for it.
Oh, boy. Pittsburgh, Philly, Houston, Kansas City.
Every one of them.
Ross comes up with it. Look what I found. And he takes a hit away from Alex Gordon. He's through 5. Martinez, Ozuna, DeYoung coming up in a 2-1 ball game here in Kansas City. Top of the 6th. Narkia drive to success. 6 for 10 in the series against the Royals. Couple of extra base hits. 2-run homer last night. 6 runs batted in.
You don't think some of these guys, the Royals, saying, where would we be if we had Jose Martinez?
That's one that got away, maybe.
Hit 384, won the Pacific Coast batting championship for Omaha, the Royals affiliate, and didn't get called up to the big leagues in 15. And then they basically gave him to the Cardinals in 16.
The first pitch to Jose. Taken for a strike. One ball, one strike. It's now a Royals record 107 consecutive errorless innings.
Yeah, they'd reached 11 games a few times, but that's one thing we said. This club can really play defense.
1-1 hit out of play. Yeah, the other factor of Martinez being with the Cardinals too. You know, think about a young team too, Al, and cost controlled. I mean, that's Jose Martinez.
Sure. Not young in age, but big league time, yes. Young and inexpensive.
In the dirt. Evens it up at 2-2. Junis now near 90 pitches, 2 away. He struck out 8 on the day. Big gap in left center. Hits it sharply to the second baseman, Herrera. That's the first out. Fox Sports Midwest proud to support Adam Wainwright's Big League Impact Foundation. August 31st, play catch on the field, tour the Cardinals clubhouse. Then you can join Adam, Michael Wacha, Carlos Martinez, Miles Michaelis, Jack Flaherty, Luke Weaver, Mike Myers. Live fantasy football draft, that's in the Champions Club. BigLeagueImpact.com to buy your seat today. Marcell Ozuna. He's lined out and struck out. Room on the right side of the infield. The 0-2 pitch. Boy, he has seen a steady diet of those sliders.
Yeah, and we're at pitch 92, so that's at that area where hitters have hit 566 against Junis. 25 years of age, and that elbow has to feel like about 100 with all these sliders. He's doing a good job today.
Ooh,
another slider.
Outfield straight away. They're deep for Marcell Ozuna. And the next to him. Again, spinning off it. Tough play at the bag at first. Junis is there, and Ozuna is safe. He was off the bag. I'm sure the Royals will take a long look at it, but the tying run is aboard. It's ruled a base hit.
For another pitch, pulling off the slider, goes right off the end of the bat. Little dribbler to the right side. Real tough play for the pitcher. And they're going to challenge this. Did he get his foot on the bag? Looked like there he was not on the bag. Get a closer look. There it looks like he could be. Oh, he got the heel down. And they kind of kicked each other's legs. And he looked like he missed it, but at the last second he put the heel down and caught the bag ahead of Ozuna.
That'll be the question, whether or not they feel the heel did touch the bag.
They'll be looking on the big screen. Yeah. He's out.
Paul DeYoung hit by a pitch and also flied to center. Been a very quiet offensive day on both sides. Cardinals with just 3 hits, the Royals with 4.
It really looks like the Cardinal hitters have really not adjusted to that slider. They just keep on pulling off it.
And DeYoung on the first pitch sends a fly ball into center. Catch is made, and the Cardinals go in order midway through 6. Royals with a 1-run lead. The debut of Tyson Ross in the Cardinal uniform, and I think you'd have to say so far so good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's come out here and had short notice. They kind of notified him that he could make the start today. Had a little rough time walking a couple in the first inning, but he hasn't walked anybody since then, and he's only given up 4 hits. And the last hit, when he allowed 3, was back in the 3rd inning.
Pitch number 80 is a ball, 2-0. Monday pitch arsenal, what he's thrown today. Primarily fastball, slider. That may get the Cardinal bullpen up and throwing, and this will help out though. Slowly hit off the bat of Perez and a ground ball to second. Greg Garcia.
Well, Tyson's counterpart, Junis, has been very good today, and they've got activity in their bullpen, so we may that Yost may turn it over, but I think Mike Maddox has got a pretty good read of what he's seen with Tyson Ross, and sometimes change of scenery will do wonders for a pitcher.
It's now 7 in a row. Lucas Duda, the RBI base hit to center with 2 outs back in the 3rd to give Kansas City this 2-1 lead. It's been on base twice with a walk in that single to center. Couldn't hold up. 1-1.
Cutter in on the hands of a left-hander has been effective.
And the ground ball, Garcia to his right.
Time to find an ATM? Again? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
So 8 in a row, set down by Ross, and now Herrera reached on an air back in inning number 1, and then singled in the 3rd. And it was Bader with a play at the plate with a strong throw to get Duda trying to score for the final out of that inning. 2-1 our score. There's a strike. Nothing in 2. "86 pitches today for Ross. One and 2. Struck him out on the outside corner. 4 today for Ross. Jerko coming up. 7th inning rolls in.
Bullpen had a nice career with the Cubs. Second year with Kansas City. Righties, not good if you're a right-hander and you're allowing a .355 batting average to right-handed batters. But Junis did a nice job through the first 6 innings.
Struck out 8 along the way. 3 hits allowed, 1 run. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. 2-1 our score. Top of the 7th. Cardinals trying to pick up their 5th win in a row. There's ball 1. Junis 1 off his season high in terms of strikeouts. 8 on the day, season high of 9. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Jerko. 2-0. No one throwing in the Cardinals' pen. Ross is at 88 pitches. And Jerko is geared up for that pitch and hits it a mile high down the left field line and out of play. Two and 1 to count. Jerko, a base hit into left field. And the tying run is aboard.
We showed that .355 average against right-handed hitters, and gets a fastball kind of coming right into him, and he rips it down the left field.
Let's see what the Cardinals want to do here. Do you want to bunt with Greg Garcia, who normally is very good in this spot?
And that's what they're anticipating. See the third baseman playing in on the grass. And we're kind of the same type of pitcher, a lot of sliders.
First pitch to Garcia. Did not show bunt, and it's a ball. Boy, this is one kind of game and type of game that if you're the Cardinals, you want to go get.
You really do. You've already won your 5th series in a row, but when you win the first 2 against a club that's really, you know, let's face it, 81 losses, only 16 wins at home, you've got to go for the juggler. You've got to win this one.
1-0 pitch to Garcia. Runner goes. Hits it the other way. Tough play here. Garcia. Save at first. He beat it out with the hit and run. Again, Mike Schilt. Movement and activity on the bases, and it pays off, at least for the time being.
And it looks good. And just anytime you got movement out there instead of just going station for station, good piece of hitting. That ball just running away for him, just chopped down. It's going to go there. And the shortstop Escobar, who is a phenomenal fielder, you know, he has to go to it, has to wait for the ball to get to him. He's got to backhand it, and he's got to make the throw. And Greg was hustling all the way. Paid off.
Royals did take a look at it. No challenge. Now you have Harrison Bader and Wisdom on deck. On the bench for the Cardinals, Wong, Garcia, and Pena.
You know, Harris has hit home runs in the first 2 games of the series, and really seems like he was pulling off a lot of the high fastballs he was chasing, pulling off the slider. Let's see if he can't stay in there and take a slider and drive it to the other field. They think he's going to bunt.
Squares and ball 1.
You want to bunt it here. You want to bunt it down the third baseline if you hold on. Oquendo flashing signs. First baseman Duda is really charging. The pitcher will have the responsibility of covering the third base line, so you want to bunt it hard enough to get it by the pitcher, make the third baseman vacate the bag so the lead runner can just go in. Jerko can go to third unmolested.
And that's another ball. Throw down to second.
Gutierrez, like Salvador Perez will try to throw, but not quite the same arm speed.
So 2-0. Let's see what the Cardinals do here.
I was going to say, I mean, that was a smart play by Hamill to turn up, because I was saying with the count 2-0, there's no guarantee he was going to bunt. And by Hamill spinning and looking at the runner at second, it kind of gives an indication, or does Bader give away whether the bunt is on or has it been taken off 2-0.
3-0. McCarthy, the righty, Hill, the lefty. Three and one.
Be disciplined.
Runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the seventh. This time is called. Bases are loaded. And in his major league debut, Patrick Wisdom coming up.
Oh boy. Wouldn't this be the scenario that he's dreamt about his entire life?
There's an infield hit. He has scored the only run for the Cardinals. He struck out. And now the base is loaded. Nowhere to put Hamill. Up and in. Opponents have outscored the Royals in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, 191 to 116 this year.
Well, and that's one of the killers. When you got a young team, now they traded their closer. You don't have that real bona fide, guys like they had when they were winning. They had the 7, 8, and 9 inning guys to really shut down, and so demoralizing when you can get a lead and then you have it lost late.
Nowhere to put him for Hamill. The 1-0 pitch. Wisdom into center and a base hit. The game is tied. Jerko scores. Patrick Wisdom comes through with his second hit in his debut, and it's 2-2.
He's already scored a run. He got his first hit. Now he picks up his first RBI.
And the base is still loaded. They had the lefty getting loose for Carpenter, and that may be it for Hamill.
That'll be it, but good piece of hitting there by Patrick Wisdom in his major league debut.
All smiles for Patrick Wisdom. The base is loaded, nobody out, and the lefty coming in to face Carpenter. Of the teams coming up in our Budweiser What's on Tap. Washington, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, Rockies, and Pittsburgh. So not an easy schedule coming up, but the Cardinals playing very good baseball. Here's Tim Hill. And he may be in just to face one batter, and that's Matt Carpenter. And Carpenter, with our Chevy call to the pen, in his career with incredible numbers with the bases loaded.
And Hill really is that situational left-hander. So he retired Rizzo on Monday, his last time he's pitched.
Carpenter pulls it foul.
You can see why, if you're a situational lefty, you find that you get a guy that throws like this, it's just not a comfortable with bat. But a right-handed batter would really see the release point and should have good numbers, and they were batting well over 300. But once again, Danny, it's that front shoulder. You can't let it fly open as a pitcher or a hitter.
Third baseman is in. Room on the left side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carpenter picked up a base hit to left back in inning number 5 with 2 strikes.
You know, Carpenter got that base hit when he went to left. That's what he needs to do on a bat like this. Be quick enough that anything inside you can turn on, maybe even just foul it off to stay alive, but look for the pitch away. That's what he wants to throw.
The 1-1. Carpenter pulls it to first. Duda to the plate, out there, and no other play. Then Yost goes back to his bullpen. Hill gets his 1 man. That's Carpenter.
Yep. Terra had nobody to throw at first base as the pitcher didn't get over there, but they were happy just to get the first out.
McCarthy to face Yadier Molina, and the base is loaded when we come back. For 30,000 fans 16 and older, one-of-a-kind Dizzy Dean watch courtesy of AT&T. August 19th, Cards and Brewers, Cardinals.com/promotions. Bases loaded, Molina coming up. In a tie ball game, Kevin McCarthy in our Chevy call to the pen.
Kevin McCarthy, we saw him last night. He came in after Duffy got ejected. He retired the 2 guys he faced. He's a ground ball specialist. So got to guard against a double play for allowing them to get out of this inning.
And a fly ball that's hit down the right field line and out of play. You may notice that Molina in these spots, it looks like he opens up his stance a little bit more. Man that changed his stance countless times earlier in his career. Mike Myers throwing in the Cardinals pen.
He's Got 5 career grand slams, if I remember right, coming in on him.
And it's now 0-2.
McCarthy throws almost 63% ground balls. So you can see he's the right guy to come in this situation, get the double play. Lena's grounded into 10, but good numbers too with the bases loaded.
The 0-2 pulled foul. Five career grand slams. One of those happening a year ago in St. Louis, the Rally Cat game against Kansas City.
The anniversary of that.
Molina, base hit in the center. One run is in. Here comes another. And the Cardinals have the lead. Yachty delivers here in the 7th.
Playing in his 20th consecutive game. That's a major league record for anyone over 35, and still producing. Coming through in the clutch is Yadier Molina. He missed 26 games. He's got 15 home runs and now 53 RBIs, and he missed 26 games for that emergency surgery, abdominal surgery.
Runners at first and second, still only one out. Now a 4-2 Cardinal lead. Jose Martinez, RBI single back in the 3rd. And a strike.
All 4 runs charged to Hamill, who did not record an out.
Runners at first and second. Big numbers with runners in scoring position this year for Jose Martinez. Oh, and 2.
Watch the right hand. Kind of shakes it a little bit. A lot of times when you misconnect with the ball, you kind of feel a little jolt.
In the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Martinez puts it in play, hit to 3rd, out there, the turn, and a double play. The Cardinals strike, though, with Patrick Wisdom and Yadier Molina. Molina breaks the 2-2 tie with a base hit into center field. That scores 2 and a 4-2 St. Louis lead. Time to stretch on Fox Sports Midwest. It's brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Ford, going further so you can. And by the Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer close to home. Adolis Garcia takes over in right field. Yadier Molina, the hit to put the Cardinals on top 4-2. And the new pitcher in is Mike Myers for St. Louis. So we'll see how the Cardinals can try to play the final 3 outs here with Myers. Hicks, we saw with the 1+ last night. Bud Norris was up and throwing at one point. You would have to think he's available in the ball game today, and we'll see how it plays out.
You would think that you'd want him in this ball game. It's been a while for Myers. There you see Adolis Garcia, who got his first major league hit in this series. Mike Shildt is giving a lot more confidence to Mike Myers. We're seeing his Hyundai pitch arsenal, 60% fastball, and he's got a wicked slider too.
There's Bonifacio and a strike.
A little tailing action back to the strike zone at 96. Look for his fastball usually at 98.
Not to be lost in what now is a comeback for the Cardinals, but the start of Tyson Ross in his Cardinal debut. Shaky first inning that's hit out of play as Wisdom was giving chase.
All things considered, Tyson Ross did an outstanding job. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Think about what is happening on the field right now for the Cardinals. You got Mike Myers, produced by St. Louis. Yadier Molina, drafted by St. Louis. Wisdom, Garcia, DeYoung, St. Louis. Bader, drafted by St. Louis. Adolis Garcia, signed by St. Louis. Only 2 out there that were not produced by the club. Third baseman Jed Jerko and Marcell Ozuna.
It's incredible, Danny. And even when you scour, both leagues, there's a lot of other guys that came through the Cardinals system that are in the big leagues for other organizations.
Many of these guys this time last year, AAA.
Hey, that was the best minor league team going a year ago. They were 41 games over 500 with so many call-ups a year ago.
Got him. There's that slider. A strikeout for Mike Myers. For Tyson Ross, it was his longest outing since July 12th. And that was against the Dodgers, and he went 6 1/3, but 6 innings here today.
You see that ball, the slider off the plate the entire time, and yet Bonifacio went fishing.
Slider again in ball 1. Nope, check that a strike. Say he did go.
Yep, he couldn't stop a swing.
Hunter Dozier at the plate, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Also grounded out to third.
So important to be able to pitch inside. Particularly, you got a slider to these right-handed batters. Want that down and away. They aren't going to dive across the plate.
Doesn't get the call there. Good pitch.
Yeah, nice pitch right there, but
Three and 1 to count.
no free passes.
Comes back to get him. Center field, Bader fighting the sun, and the catch.
Facet. Driving impaired affects lives.
Myers has got the first two. And a ground ball that's hit to short. Mike Myers, a scoreless bottom of the seventh. Coming up, part of the lineup for St. Louis, Ozuna, DeYoung, and Jerko. Tyson Ross, 6 strong innings for the Cardinals. A shaky start, pitched out of trouble a couple of different times. Patrick Wisdom, his major league debut, and a couple of base hits and an RBI. Our Budweiser plays of the game.
Didn't take Patrick Wisdom long to find that salsa, did it?
No, sir. You got to fit right in,
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Cardinals had 62 and 55, 7 above the 500 mark. As Ozuna looks at a strike. And I would think if they can hold on, and even if they don't, there's going to be a buzz around St. Louis and the ballpark tomorrow.
No doubt. I've talked to a lot of people, and they're enjoying what they see. Kind of been energized with young guys, but the movement and just fun baseball games again.
I mean, think about Mike Schilt, where most people bunt in the situation with Garcia. He puts a hit and run on. And it paid off. And it's not to say that every move will pay off, but the Cardinals do have a lot more movement, and it's generating offense. They're cutting down on strikeouts.
Danny, the game was becoming strikeouts and home run balls. And to be honest, it's getting boring.
There's a base hit to the right side. And a shift on for Marcell Ozuna. Hits a 10-hopper through the right side of the infield and a base hit.
But you see, nobody at the second base spot, so this little dribbler goes right on through, and that's how you beat those shifts. As a pitcher, you know, you throw a pitch and you say, okay, I got out number one, and then you turn around and you go, wait a minute.
So runner at first and Paul DeYoung. And DeYoung lines it to short. Don't miss Budweiser Bash on Tuesday, August 28th. New Budweiser Terrace. Enjoy live music. Exciting area of the ballpark. Special theme ticket, Budweiser Bash. Get an autograph and a bobblehead from Ray Langford. Tickets at cardinals.com/budbash. Put on by our good buddy Joe Pfeiffer.
I got a silly question for you.
Yes, sir. No such thing, Al.
Who's going to talk longer, Coleman or Langford?
Coleman.
Obviously. That's
The question
silly.
is, how much does he do it? You know, does he double in time? Does he triple in time?
That's what I was going to say. Then the next question was going to be,
How long?
how long will it be?
It's always a fun day. Cardinals Hall of Fame, and the festivities get going at 10 a.m. this Saturday. Willie McGee signing autographs, open to the public. 3 o'clock with the ceremony, then stay afterwards for the Cardinals and the Brewers. Good seats still remain as we head back home after the ball game today.
Danny Hicks is warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. When ending the third last night, picked up his third save. Martinez hit that 2-run home run to take it away from a save opportunity for Norris, so he stayed in the game and finished it.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Jed Jerko.
Jerko got things started with his base hit against Hamill.
Room on the right side of the infield. The Royals really shifting a bunch against the right-handed batters of the Cardinals. Slowly hit left side. They'll get Jerko Ozuna to second base. I'm with you. I hear from a lot of fans, and they say the same thing. They're enjoying the style of baseball. And again, winning will do that.
Sure.
Club is winning. They've won 5 series in a row. Chance at a sweep today. But I would imagine there'll be a little buzz around the city tomorrow and around the ballpark. So 2 outs and the runner at second base. Greg Garcia off the end of the bat, shallow center, and it drops. It's a base hit for Garcia. Ozuna will score, and Greg in with a double with 2 down to make it 5-2 Cardinals.
2 outs. Ozuna's going to take off with contact, so you know he's going to score if the ball falls in, and it just not the strongest right off the end of the bat, so you know center field gets a good read. He knows he's got to come in and charge hard. He dives for it. Right fielder back there to pick it up, but nice going, Greg Garcia. 12th RBI of the year and an insurance run.
Here's Harrison Bader. Showing bunt with 2 down.
He's setting them up, Danny. Harrison setting up McCarthy. Just get that show bunt and everything, so he'll get a cookie that he can drive and get an RBI.
And the 0-1. That hit him. Barely grazed him, so Bader is aboard.
3rd Cardinal hit today.
And Patrick Wisdom.
Got a chance to do some more damage, Patrick Wisdom. 2 for 3. Scored 2 runs. He's got an RBI in his big league debut.
And a strike to Wisdom. Runners at first and second. So we play here in the top of the 8th, 5-2 St. Louis. Very early in the season, the Cardinals were 8 games above 500.
That's our high water mark. Cardinals have a chance to tie that today, right?
It's May 6th, after the Cardinals had swept the Cubs in a 3-game series. That's a long time ago. A ball and a strike on Wisdom. First and second. Pulled foul.
Manny Patrick, still 26 years of age. He'll turn 27 later this month. He's got 99 career minor league home runs. Hit 31 last season. He had 14 this year. Really got his average up.
In the hole, 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 puts it in play to short. Across the diamond, and they get him by a half step. Cardinals add to their lead. It's 5-2. Appearance this year. We saw him pitch an inning plus last night.
Really been good.
Well, it sets up for Hicks here and Norris in the 9th. And the potential of a 7-2 road trip. You think about the 2 games the Cardinals lost on this trip, could have won those 2. First pitch taken high. Drew Butera. Oh for 2 today. One and one.
Jordan had plenty of time off between Pittsburgh on the 5th and yesterday's game when he picked up his 3rd save on the 11th. But Norris hasn't pitched since the 7th of August.
2-2.
It's incredible how these young kids, how hard they throw now, and then here you're talking about he's thrown over 100, or excuse me, over 400 pitches, sinking pitches over 100 miles an hour.
And a ground ball hit to Garcia.
Now they'll put that, even though it's moving and it's over 100 miles an hour, they'll put it into play. And they'll usually hit the ground ball, which a sinker's designed. I remember when a good sinker ball pitcher was thrown in, mid 80s. Four seamers would be in the low 90s. And what he can do is amazing. And because they see so much velocity today, they can center the ball, they can hit it, but they pound it in the ground, which they should. And then if he gets 2 strikes on you, he's got that wicked slider to strike you out.
Almost took Molina's arm off for ball 1. Think about the guts of Yadier Molina and the trepidation you might have with the sinker and the foul balls that you get because of Hicks, the injury that he sustained earlier this season. And a bouncer up the middle, base hit. Whit Merrifield is aboard with 1 out here in the home half of the 8th.
Well, first pitch was 100 miles an hour, was up. He wants to get the sinker down. So here's the last pitch. It's a 101. Look at the movement there going down, and it produces that ground ball, and it just finds a hole right back up the middle. That's, I think, was incredible, and what people have a hard time understanding is how they can take that pitch with movement and make contact with it.
Now you're hoping for the ground ball and a double play. Alex Gordon at the plate. Strike 1.
You're talking about ground balls. Hicks has got hitters to hit into almost 70 or almost 62% ground ball. He has induced 10 ground ball or double plays.
On pitch. Gordon has walked, grounded to second, and lined back to the pitcher. Center field. Bader under it. Out number 2. So 2 outs and the runner at first base.
Good challenge here.
Salvador Perez, a single to left, doubled down the right field line after a diving attempt by Jose Martinez came around to score, and also grounded out to second base. Two outs, runner at first. Foul back. Jordan Hicks has allowed just 1 run in his last 10 appearances. Kind of hit a little bump in the road. Not glaring, but for him, the way that he has thrown the ball this year, and then now back on track. 1 run in his last 10 appearances. No balls and a strike, and there's that slider. Did go, and it's 0-2.
And remember, he leads the staff with 55 appearances. 21 years of age. Opponents are batting under 200 against him.
Royals are near the top step of their dugout. You better be careful with a right-handed batter and Jordan Hicks on the mound.
You're right about that.
Same with the on-deck man.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-2. Struck him out. Good work by Jordan Hicks. And he sends us to the 9th inning. A strikeout for Hicks. So he gets Perez. The 5-2 St. Louis lead. Inning. This is how it got going against Jason Hamill. That's a key at bat right there. The hit and run with Greg Garcia. 2 men on. Then the bases will be loaded for Wisdom. He delivered, and so did Yachty. Made it a 4-2 Cardinal lead. And now 5-2. Here's a look at your game summary. 5-2 St. Louis leading the Kansas City Royals. Willie Peralta is our Chevy Colt of the pen.
Saw a lot of him in Milwaukee. He signed with the Royals as a minor league free agent. And he's 6 for 6 in save opportunities. No win-loss record, a 2.70 ERA. And this is the 12th time he's pitched in non-save situations.
Here's Matt Carpenter. Extended his on-base streak to 30. Single to left center back in inning number 5.
It's Willie's only his 19th appearance of the year.
One ball and 1 strike. Should be a very good win for the Cardinals, trailing 2-0 for the better part of this game and now leading 5-2. Still 3 outs to go and trying to add insurance. Inside, and now Carpenter's hit by a pitch, and that's the 4th Cardinal hit today.
Even if it's all of them accidental, it gets to a certain point where you go, wait a minute. Willie Peralta, and then you get kind of in the ribs there where it's got to hurt and sting a little bit. But, that's the one thing, too, Danny, with these guys are all throwing. But Willie Peralta's been around for a ton of time. It's got over almost 700 appearances. You should be able to throw strikes, and not where these guys. But some of these guys are just definite throwers, not pitchers. And it does get a little scary in that box because they don't know how to control.
And a ball to Yadier Molina, one of the key hits in this game. Yadi delivering with the bases loaded. Cardinals have owned Willie Peralta in his career. 1-0 pitch. As Al mentioned, majority of those appearances as a starter with Milwaukee. 18 of the 19 appearances with Milwaukee. One ball and one strike on Yadier Molina. Out of play. Out to right, pretty well hit. Near the wall, and the catch is made on the track. Carpenter tagging up from first to second. Good base running by Matt Carpenter.
Old days, Danny, you'd be in a situation like that, you'd be hunting that second baseman or shortstop. Make them pay for being hit in the ribs. But he sees that it's going to be caught, so he goes back and tags up. It's on the warning track, so he knows he can get over to second base.
Here's Adolis Garcia. Cardinals are 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position today. Adds up to 10 for 27 in the series.
Win some ball games with that ratio.
Garcia took over for Jose Martinez in right field. Garcia pulls it foul. Check swing did not go. A 3-1 pitch. 3-2. Center field very shallow. It's a guy in Garcia that maybe they don't realize he's got a little bit more pop than you might think.
Yeah.
You can understand though that it's a 3-run lead late. They're trying to keep the runner from scoring, but still.
But you would also think that since Omaha is in the Pacific Coast League along with Memphis, they'd have a pretty good read and know that he does have power. He's not really that big a man, but he's really put together.
3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Celebrate the 5th class of the Cardinals Hall of Fame inductees next weekend, August 17th through the 19th, presented by Edward Jones. And you can take home a mystery baseball cap. Vince Coleman and Ray Langford, courtesy of Edward Jones, and that'll be on Saturday. Marcelo Ozuna with 2 outs. Slider after slider after slider to Ozuna.
And see, now they got left-hander up in case Ozuna drives in that run. And takes it away from being a save opportunity.
I believe that's Brandon Webb. They had 2 scoreless innings against Miami on this trip. 1 ball and 1 strike on Marcell Ozuna. Cardinals about to hit the Royals 9-5. They lead 5-2. And Ozuna sends one out to deep center field. And it's off the wall. This will be an RBI double. Brings in Carpenter. And it's now a 6-2 Cardinal lead.
Ozuna, who last year had a really good second half, we're starting to see more extra base hits from him. Breaking ball right down lowest of the strike zone, and he just takes back central over the head to Whitfield, Muirfield. Drives in his 62nd run.
Here's Paul DeYoung. The 1-0 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. A ball and a strike. The 1-1 pulled foul.
DeYoung is getting real close, really breaking out.
Two and two the count. And the next to the Cardinals shortstop. Inside, full count. I like to see this. Get that souvenir and then give it to that young fan. All right. And DeYoung hits one a ton out to deep left. Goodbye. Launched it. 2-run homer, Paul DeYoung. 8-2 Cardinals.
Second home run in this series, and said he's really getting close. Cardinals just keep on scoring, hanging breaking ball, and he deposits well over the bullpen, over the first set of seats. About the amount of runs this club is starting to score now.
Austin Gomber was saying that the other day. If you can get through 5 or 6 and keep it close,
yeah, got
feels
a chance
like
to win.
Yeah, this team's gonna get you the offense you need.
Not only that, but you also got a bullpen that can shut them down too.
That's up the middle. Base hit for Jed Jerko. Home run hit by DeYoung, measured at 417 feet.
Peralta's their closer now and trying to just get a few innings. Cal Eldred running out to give him a little advice.
One of the longer home runs we've seen on this trip off the bat of Paul DeYoung. Statcast. There's the exit velocity, the launch angle, the distance at 417. This will be a happy flight going home to St. Louis, albeit short. And then Washington in town tomorrow night. I still go back to the hit and run with Greg Garcia as being one of the more important at bats in this game today.
Right. Got a utility player getting a start, getting a chance to contribute, believing in him. You know he can bunt, but you know they put the hit run on and he comes through.
Oh, 2 pitch to Greg Garcia. In the dirt, 1-2. Majority of the fans that are left here are Cardinal fans. A lot of red here at the K, Kauffman Stadium. A ball and 2 strikes on Greg Garcia. 2-2.
Cardinals came in here 36-19 at Kauffman Stadium. They're about to be 21-8 since 2008 and on the verge of winning their 5th straight game here at the K.
And their 5th straight overall. Swing and a miss by Garcia. Cardinals pick up 3 more, 12 hits today, and an 8-2 St. Louis lead.
counting since joining St. Louis. He's allowed 5 hits over 6 scoreless frames, including 2 on Monday night in Miami. That was the last time he pitched. He's appeared in 17 Major League games between the Yankees, Milwaukee, San Diego, and now St. Louis. Claimed off the waivers from San Diego.
Here's Lucas Duda, ball 1. 8-2 our score.
This Cardinal uniform must be good for Webb. He made 6 appearances in Memphis, 1 start. He had a 2.19 ERA and struck out 13 in 12 1/3 innings.
And Duda didn't like it. Pitch a bit high. And it's 2-1. Two and two.
I didn't see Duda get a lot of plate appearances against lefties in New York.
Struck him out, and Duda's going to have a few words here.
At the top of the strike zone.
The crowd today, 23,409, 23409. Here's Herrera with 1 out and nobody on. And ball 1. Cardinals trying to make it 5 wins in a row. And go to 8 games above the 500 mark. What would you throw here? I don't know. How about you? Yeah, forget it. Let's go get some ice cream.
Looking for a foul ball to catch. Like they're having fun. That's all that counts.
And out of play. Two and two the count. The swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back Ks for Webb. Bonifacio, the final batter for the Royals potentially today and in this series. And barring one of the greatest comebacks in the history of baseball, this will be the final time we see Kansas City this year. Strike 1. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this will be the final time we see the Kansas City Royals.
I think at 35 and 82 it'd be tough.
Inside, a ball and a strike.
So the battle that they're battling right now is Baltimore. Baltimore is 35 and 84. They lost again today to Boston, who won their 85th game.
Wow, 85 wins already for the Red Sox.
85 and 35. Won their 4th in a row. I think they were in Boston. But they came in 42 wins on the road, 42 wins at home.
And that'll be a warning. After 4, Cardinals were ahead. A warning for Webb, and here comes Mike Schilt, and Molina claiming his case.
You know, umpires try to stop problems and they create more by doing stuff like this.
I thought he warned him, or did he throw him out?
He tossed Yachty. He tossed Webb. You really don't have to. You can throw a pitcher out without a warning. If you think he deliberately threw at a hitter, you can throw him out. That's why sometimes the warnings complicate the matter. But you can understand the Cardinals' point. They were hit 4 different times. 4 different times, and I'm not saying any of them were deliberate, but Mike Schilt isn't acting timid, is he? And now we're going to have to bring in Bud Norris. So there's where he throwing, and then the Yachty gets in his face. Why are you throwing him out?
Yachty not ejected, Webb
Right.
was.
Yes, the pitcher ejected. I saw Yachty like that, and that's what made me think it. But Mike Schilt's hot. And like I said, here all of a sudden we're going to have to bring in our closer in the game because he hasn't pitched for one thing, but you agree with me when I say umpires try to avoid a situation, they create this.
In this case, for sure. And so what we'll do is step aside, and Bud Norris will come in eventually and try to get the final out. back to the hit by pitch. And then Adam Hamari throwing out Webb. That was it for him. Yachty not ejected. And then Mike Schilt, boy, he got hot.
But he did it in a professional manner. He didn't get tossed. And trying to explain to Tom Hallion why he's so upset and why the Cardinals were hit 4 times in this game. And that make up for the call last night, or on the first base was not on the check swing, and then Bader hit the home run. Was it Bader hit the home run off the Duffy? Yeah.
He did.
Well, let's get the final out here. 49th appearance for Bud. It's been a while since he's pitched.
Fielder's indifference.
Bud picked up his 22nd save, career high for him, back on 7th at Miami. That's the last time he's pitched.
And fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike. I would think that the players appreciate,
no doubt,
how Mike Schilt went about his business there.
No doubt. Guys that were hit, always kind of wonder if pitcher's going to protect them or the manager. Sent a little message that we are not going to allow our guys to be hit. And as I said, he did it in a professional manner. He got his point across and still in the game.
And a 2-1 pitch. Out of play, 2-2. So the Royals down to their final strike.
Danny, you ready to go home?
Looks like it may be a win here for the Cardinals, and they'll be happy to go home with a 5-game winning streak and staying in contention in both the Central and the wild card. Cardinal fans on their feet here at the K. Struck him out on the outside corner. An 8-2 final. And the Cardinals have a sweep, and they've won 5 in a row.
Really good to see the ball club come together like this, all aspects of it. The Cardinals had 12 hits, but they didn't get 9 of them until the last 3 innings. And once again, they're scoring 8 runs. A lot of fun to watch this offense the way it's gelling.